everybody, welcome to Everything and Anything with Kevin. Today we're going to be making a cute card using the retro half circle stencil and the new Share As If stamp from the April Clueless release. So right now I've just got an A2 card size. I've just taped that down and I'm just going to tack down my stencil over top. I am using the metallic gilding polishes from Creative Expressions, and I chose Electric Blue, Rich Red, and Bright Sunshine. So I'm starting with that blue, and I know these colors, you're like, I don't know, are they going to go together? And to be quite honest, I didn't know if they were going to go together either, but I thought, you know what? It doesn't hurt to just check out and try, and I could always redo it. So I laid down my blue, then I put in my yellow, and then I'm going to finish up with my red, and then I'm going to start blending these colors together. I just wanted something a little bit different and just was trying something out, and I was like, do you know what? I don't use these often enough, and actually I don't think I've ever used the blue before or the red. So I was like, do you know what? Let's try it. And then I just started blending everything through until I got something that I thought I was satisfied with, and where I'm like, okay, do I like how the colors are mixing? And I really wasn't sure here if it was going to come together or not, and I was like, am I doing this right? Is this going to mess up? Like, how are these colors going to mix? So we'll just have to wait and see here when I reveal it. And you know what? I think it turned out awesome, and I just love that shine. So I set it aside and let it dry. So now here we have our Share stamp already pre-cut out with our die cut. And we're going to color her skin up starting around her hairline with our E04. So our normal skin tones that I'm using are going to be E04, E11, E21, E00, E000, and the R20. So here I'm going in and going over that first E04 line and I'm extending it, and you can see I accidentally went into her hair, so I'm just going to use some Zero, the colorless blender, get rid of that. So I'm going to go down a little further now with my E21, and then I'm going to extend that color out. And of course these are all Copic markers that I am using here to color her up. So I'm going to create a line around her eye with the E21 just to retain a white through the middle of her eye there. So again, just going to bring that color down, and then I'm going in with my E00, and we're going to start to blend that color even further. So that's that skin white that I'm adding in now, and I'm just kind of going through and making sure that everything is nice and blended up. So going around her mouth, and of course at the same time I have gone in and colored her, all the skin on her body, because she's got just a little piece where her neck was and everything, so like her neck and her hands and her legs. So I just wanted to make sure I colored it up all at once. So now I'm just doing some further blending, just getting everything, trying to be nice and soft. And the camera doesn't pick it up as well, but sometimes it looks a little blotchy on camera, and I don't know why. So here I'm going in with my R20 to create my cheeks and my tongue, and then I'm going in with that I think it's the 000, and I'm just blending it through, and I kind of blend that cheek color out a little bit. And then in the tongue, I use E04 on either side, and then blend it through with the R20. And here I just kind of cleaned out the eyes with some colorless blender. And then I'm just going back in with my E00 just to kind of re-blend. So a lot of times it's actually best if you go over the skin tone, I think, twice. Now I didn't here, but maybe I should have. And then I'm just using my white gel pen to create additional highlights in her eyes just to give it a little bit more pop. So now her hair color is going to be YR24, YR23, Y21, and YR20. So I'm starting with that YR24, and I'm just coming out in little flicks just out from some of the corners of where the points are in her hair and where those separation lines are at the top and the bottom, and from where it comes out from some of the pieces, as well as in the bottom here and under her arms and jacket. And I'm filling in a little bit more behind her collar there as well with this YR24. I just wanted to try something new, a new blonde, and I thought let's keep it simple. So that's why I used the YR24, 23, 21, and 20. So here you can see I'm going in with the 2-3 now, and I'm doing slight extensions out, just flicking out from where I put in that YR24. So I find this is a pretty quick and easy method of doing hair, where you kind of add a color, flick out, add another color, kind of midpoint, flick out, and then start to join them in the middle with kind of like your lightest or highlight color. Now my YR23 did start to get a little juicy and almost dripped on me, so that's why I kind of took it off. And then I was like, all right, we can just move on to the YR21, which is our cream color. And now I'm starting to add more of that cream down into the bottom of her hair and in through the top. And then finally in with our YR20. And I'm just kind of filling in the middle by going back and forth and just creating that connection and the blend from those darks and the light there. And you can see here, I just want to get a little bit more blend going in there, just kind of soften things up. So I'm going back in with that YR23 a little bit and just kind of getting it to blend up a little bit more. So now that we've got her hair done, we're going to move on to her undershirt, that shirt that's under her vest. And I'm using one color that we rarely use, and that is one of the fluorescents. So this is FRV1, which is our fluorescent pink. So I was like, do you know what? I just want her to have something really pop underneath, because she's all going to be in pinks. Because I was kind of like, do you know what? I think she could kind of go look a little like Legally Blonde as well. So I was like, let's do that. So I'm using RV04. RV06, RV04, and RV02 for her coat. So I'm starting with that darkest color, the RV06, and I'm kind of keeping that dark color off to the right and to the bottom. Then I'm adding in that RV04, and then finally I add in the RV02 just to blend everything in nicely together. And so this is going to be her jacket and her skirt color. So now we're going to start with the RV06 again, and we're going to go into her skirt, and I'm going to run it along the bottom and then up the drawn lines that Annie has provided in this stamp. So then I go into my RV04 and I go over and bring it out and bring it up. And of course we're going to end with our RV02, and we're just going to bring that color down in from the white into the dark and get that to blend. And I do like to go over some of my colors and make sure they are really properly blended. And you can see here I'm going to go back in through the jacket a little bit, and just, if you ever see anything that you want to change, just go in and change it. So, and I was like, okay, now that I have that coat of fluorescent, I'm like, I want one more second coat, just make it a little bit more opaque, a little bit more pop. So now we're going to do her vest, and we're starting the vest with R85, and her vest and her shoes are going to be R85, R83, and R81. So now I'm moving into the R83, and then finally we're going to end up with that R81. So it kind of has that like muted pink, like lavender pink tone on almost to it. And then now for her stockings, I'm going in with RV21. And then you can see here, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, let's color the stocking. And then for some reason, I just like started to color her shoe. And I was like, well, that's a mistake. So I did go in and erase it with some colorless blender. So do you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes, and that's why the colorless blender is like my best friend. So the shoes R85 and the R83 and R81 again are going to be what I use for her shoes. And I think she's pretty cute, and I like her in the pinks. But now if she was really going to be from Legally Blonde, she would have a little bag, and she'd have Bruiser in her bag and have hat. And they are two different actresses that played in Clueless and in Legally Blonde. So, but I just thought, you know what, let's make her pink and let's make it fun. So here I'm just kind of going through again and re-blending everything. And then now we have our final card coming up, and you can see I add some pink splatter, and I used the Let's Go Crazy. So that Let's Go Crazy sentiment is actually from the Prince Let's Go Crazy image from January, and then I just put on this nice border to it, and I think we got an awesome card. So Can't wait to see you again next month, and have a great day, Fannies.